Hello guys, this is Joshua Horse. As you can tell by the title of the video, I am doing a video explaining my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Wandavision. I'll put that out of the way too. So, Wandavision is the first ever TV show to be put on the MCU, the start of Phase 4 of the MCU. So, there's kind of a lot of hype around this because of it. It wasn't originally supposed to be the starting point of Phase 4. It was originally going to be Black Widow, but because of COVID, that all got pushed back, and the release dates of stuff are being pushed back. I believe it's scheduled to come out May of this year, but they decided to have this come out now, so I assume that means that it's not going to spoil anything like the Black Widow and stuff was supposed to get before that. I assume it doesn't spoil that if they're showing this. So yeah, so there was quite a lot of excitement on it, considering we hadn't had a MCU thing for like over a year, because the last thing we had was Spider-Man Far From Home, which came out of July of 2019, so that's over a year of just nothing because of the pandemic. So it was like, that was quite interesting in the sense of like, what, like, I personally think that I don't know what I'm saying, but I personally think that long gap of just nothing was actually quite needed because of the events of Endgame, and you kind of needed a break from it, and having it be so long made you even more looking forward to it. But let's explain my thoughts. So basically, before I go and continue, spoilers are in this video. Spoilers are in the video. So if you have not seen the show, turn off the video, watch the show, and come back. Okay, watch the first 2 episodes, because that's all that's there. So spoilers so I'm now going to talk about spoilers now. So if you want to see, if you have not seen the show, go and watch it. Okay? So overall, it's an enjoyable show. There's some flaws I have, but that's just because the entire show's not out. Because basically, this show is like at the moment, it's like a 50s, like a 1950s sitcom, which is like a comedy show with laughter, a bit like The Big Bang Theory, when you have laughter over the jokes and stuff. Apart from, it's black and white, which made this like really interesting. It was really interesting to kind of see that, because I don't think I've watched anything of that age, so that was kind of my introduction to it. I found it very interesting and enjoyable. The only problem was there's just not the thing that makes it more interesting, that you can tell that something's wrong, and we only know that. But the problem is they tease it so little in the first 2 episodes, which is a complete ad, that you literally, that if you're new to the MCU and this is your first thing and you don't know anything else, you wouldn't really notice it. You would just be like, okay, that's a bit long. But because we know this is part of the MCU and that world, we know that this isn't real and something is up, which makes it interesting, which is why you kind of need to watch all the other stuff to kind of know how weird this show is. Like, it's really weird in a good way. Thing is, so I kind of wish they teased it a bit more, because if you weren't an MCU fan going into this, with a few teasers that something is wrong that we have, it's like not really, it doesn't really entice you unless you're a Marvel fan. You want to see the effect. I've just turned off on my Death Star light because I'm weird. Can you come off? There we go. Yeah, so unless you're like an MCU fan, I'm not sure how you'd stay interested in this. The plot of the first 2 episodes, one episode is that they're the calendar, and they've got a heart on the day. They've got to figure out what. Then they realise the heart means his boss and his wife are coming over to hit Vision, because Vision's at work, finds out that they're actually coming around his house for dinner, and so they weren't prepared. So that was kind of the joke of this night. There was a few things to say that off-putting things, but there was like, you know, it was still fine. It was quite interesting. The second episode was kind of like they've got to perform a magician act for the talent show, but Vision ate some gum, so because he's a machine, it's like all stuck, and he's basically acting all drunk So I just don't. I think they need to, if they want to continue this show, add more of the hang on, something's not quite right here to the show, because this is gonna get really old really quickly. I found it enjoyable because it was new, it was different and unique, but you need to have more showing that this world that we're experiencing isn't real, basically. They need to show more of that for it to be interesting. Otherwise, this is just my personal opinion, the show's gonna get really old really quick. So, and I do think they will get better. And the MCU, I've given it time. The MCU has not disappointed me before. But those are just kind of my thoughts. Overall, though, I did really enjoy it. I just think what they've given you isn't enough for a new MCU fan to stay intrigued. I know why I think they should have given you the entire season at once. It would have made more sense. But I understand why they don't do that anymore, because like there was a show coming out on Netflix called like Cobra Kai season 3. I just heard about it, I haven't seen it, and the discussion would only be on that for like a month because the entire season's out. But if you have an episode by like The Mandalorian, one episode out, people talk about that episode for a month, for a week, sorry. The next episode out, and you talk even more about that. So, and that's how you go. Also, another problem I have is that it feels like these two episodes could have just been connected to one. Like, you could just have them, like, go to bed at the end of episode, and that happens, and then you've got this thing. So, yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about this. I did really enjoy it. I did find it really unique, but I think, I'm worried that they're going to focus too much on this world as if it's a real thing, and not focus on the hang on, something's wrong until later in the show, because I only gave you small little teases. Like there was at the end of episode 1, someone had a remote, so they were experiencing this through a TV from the real world, which I think it's that I'm not sure who that is, but it might be Darcy, I don't know, because she's returning from 4. And in episode 2, you had on the radio someone asking, hello, who's doing this to you, Wanda? Which sounds like Jimmy. I know it's not for certain, but I don't know for certain, but I know he's in the show. Jimmy Woo. So I don't know his role in the show, but that's just what I heard. Monica Rambeau's in the show, which, if you don't know, in Captain Marvel, she was the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend. You know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. So she's in the show. I know she's in the show. I think she was in one of the episodes, but I don't know if she was Monica Rambeau because it was set in the world. So yeah, and at the end of episode 2, there was this weird thing where they were going outside. Someone came out of the sewers with a logo that we had seen earlier on, which is also weird, that on a red plane, because the plane was coloured, meaning that it's obviously important, so I'm very interested. And the colour red is always coloured, like there's blood, and so the colour red is coloured. Then someone comes out of the sewers in like a hazmat suit with that logo on, and you can't see and I can't see his face, but Wandavision is just like, no, and rewinds it back and makes the world colour. So there are some small things those are the most interesting parts of the show. I just feel like they need to. I did enjoy it. I don't want to get the idea that I didn't enjoy it. I did. But I feel like they need to show more of this. Is that they're slowly doing it. Like they had one thing in the first episode and 2 things in episode 2. But I just feel like they need to focus more on that. Because apart from that, there's not a whole lot for a new fan to be interested in. I think that might be. I do think the show's gonna get better, and by the end, it will be really good. Because I am actually really enjoying it. I just think they need to focus more on that side, if that makes sense. So overall, I give it a 7 out of 10 for now. But if they don't have any big destroying of this world, basically, like this is not real, if they don't show that quicker, and they just focus more on the sitcoms, then I'm not sure how I would feel about it. It probably would get old quite quickly. We'll see. I'm not trying to. I don't want to drag this down. It's probably going to be really good. It's probably going to have the time to be really good. But so by the end of the season, it feels really good and worth your time and important. But at the moment, I'm just not sure. And I think that's the reason why I'm not giving my final thoughts. I've given it a 7 out of 10 because I just enjoyed it. But I feel like it needs more time before I can make a final decision on what my thoughts are on this season. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments section what you thought of these episodes of Wandavision. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, turn notifications on so you never miss a video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys!